This is Iuniverse Radio. Iuniverse Radio is brought to you by Iuniverse, the leading book marketing, editorial services, and supported self-publishing company. Iuniverse Radio is produced by TogiNet Radio, on the web at toginet.com.
The title of the book, Portals, and the author is David Goldwasser, and Dave joins us now on Iuniverse Radio. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Steve. Nice to hear from you.
Well, it's great to have you to explain your fantasy, kind of a Harry Potter meets Lord of the Rings kind of a book.
Well, I guess in some ways, yeah. I think a lot of people would kind of find different elements of different fantasies within it. I think all fantasies contain elements of other fantasies. It's just the way the minds work.
Well, it's magic, and we all are intrigued by magic. And let me read just a couple things you've written. Have you ever wished that you had the ability to travel through time and see how history really happened? What if you could use magic to explain the things that seem beyond our understanding? And so this book has that kind of twist to it, that kind of incredible, just let your imagination wander, let your mind just kind of go places it probably wouldn't go by itself. So that's what's great about you folks who can write this kind of fantasy. Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself, how this all came about, and, how the book was published.
Well, sure. The book is self-published by Iuniverse because I wanted to get the story out before my teeth came out. I thought it would be a good thing to get self-publishing. It's hard sometimes to get into the publishing world, to find an editor, get yourself out there. So I did do self-publishing. The genesis of the book, really, my daughter, Marissa, who sadly passed away as a result of therapies for cancer treatment, and I were both going to write a book when she graduated from Duke University. She and I both love fantasy, and we were going to write this book. And so after all the dust settled and charity was started in her name, I thought it would be a good time to write the book together, just in a different way.
Now, the main character, Lissa, is she kind of fashioned after your daughter, Marissa?
Marissa, yes. Well, Marissa and Lissa are really very, very similar. I mean, the heroism and the stuff that comes out of a novel, of course, is not as realistic, but the words that you hear from the character would definitely, and her whole character really is based on Marissa. Yes, absolutely.
Now, also, for everyone's information, your wife passed away within 18 months of Marissa.
Yes, 18 months before Marissa did. She had been sick most of her life, complications from diabetes. But Marissa had cancer, beat it one time, and then when the cancer came back again, it was much more virulent, much more difficult to get rid of. The therapies involved were much more toxic, and it was just too much of a strain for my wife, and it led to her death.
So Marissa passed away at 20 and your wife at 49, and we really
Correct.
Our hearts go out to you and going through all of this. But out of all of that came something I guess you will always treasure because it probably reminds you of both of them.
Yeah, certainly, much more Marissa. She had so much to offer to the world, and never really got the chance to do it. She had been accepted to Duke University. She was incredibly bright. She was a gifted student, a gifted athlete, a musician. She was fluent in sign language. She just had a lot of great gifts and a great way about her. And, we all lost something when Marissa left us.
Now, your book, you say, combines real history with amazing magic. Now, give us a little flavor of that. How does that work?
Well, this particular book, the first of the series, is set in the Bronx, actually one of the boroughs of New York City. And I did a lot of research. I was born there, so a lot of the things I knew about, but many things I learned. And I took events that occurred in real history throughout time, going way back to the time when the Indians really the Native Americans were the only people in the Bronx, all the way up to current times. And I took events that occurred, but put magic into it. So a lot of times we don't understand why things happen. For example, there's an incident in the book where talks about a Ferris wheel that broke loose in an amusement park called Clawson Amusement Park, and 8 people were killed in that incident. And why the Ferris wheel fell off in a storm, nobody could really exactly say, but we kind of explained it through magic, and what happens is a magical war kind of going on at that time. So we kind of interwove the history and the magic together to make it help explain some incidents that we couldn't otherwise explain.
Now, the main character, Lissa, she's been able to, I guess, tell that others are thinking what they're thinking even before they speak to her.
Yeah, one of her magical gifts, and she had it before she even realized she had magic, was that she really could determine when somebody was telling her the truth or not. So it's an interesting concept. It's something you might not want to know growing up, and it kind of plays into different areas of the story as it goes on. But yeah, it's one of the first things she kind of knew about herself, was that she would know if somebody was thinking about her, if she was in their thoughts. She kind of had an idea that they were. And that plays out in the book as well.
And Lissa in the book is fighting for her life with deadly cancer, and out of that, I guess, come some amazing adventures.
Absolutely, she's thrust into a magical world that she never expected, and learns that she has a magic that's incredibly powerful, and learns how to use it, and has to make lots of decisions and choices about how to use that magic and what she needs to do in each different situation.
Now, your book starts out with a description of a young man named Nicholas. Don't know much about him except something magical happens right at the beginning.
Yes, Nicholas is Lissa's father, and what occurs to him in his youth, this one singular event kind of starts off the whole process for what happens down the road, and kind of sets the stage for what's to come, draws the reader in, and realizes, you've entered a kind of a different universe, a universe that combines the real world and the magical world.
Now, he is told by a stranger, a real, very different stranger, especially the way he looks, the way he's dressed, that it's not his time? What is that about?
Well, the book is called Portals, and Nicholas, in the very beginning, has touched a spot which we would call a portal, a way that people with magic could literally travel through time and space. But Nicholas is too young and not yet aware that he even has magic, and so a wizard comes and intervenes to prevent him from making a mistake and traveling without supervision, as it were.
Well, that experience would fade a bit over time, but he would always remember it until some
Exactly.
fateful day, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, if you've ever had an incident occur to you in your life where something happened when you were a childhood and kind of nags at you as to why it happened, and then suddenly something else happens in your life, kind of a serendipitous event, and says, maybe that's why that happened. Maybe it was meant to be. We always use those terms, things that were meant to be, or karma. And in Jewish there's an expression, bashert, that was meant to happen. The book does a lot of that. The magic helps to explain things that were sort of supposed to happen, or why miraculous things happen that we can't have an explanation for.
As Lissa lies in her hospital bed, she's unaware that in a very far away city, a place called Light's Keep,
Yes.
there's a group of wizards, and what are they thinking? What are they expecting from her?
Well, the Wizards of Light, as well as the Wizards of Dark, and you can imagine who the good guys and the bad guys are there. The Wizards of Light have been waiting, just as the Wizards of Dark, a long time for this prophesized child of the scroll who was going to change the balance between light and dark forever. And one of the wizards in particular believes that Lissa is that child. And so they're going to do something about Lissa to try to bring her into their world.
And also Lord Verdex?
Yeah, that's his name, Verdex. Yes,
Verdex,
he's not
he's
somebody you'd want to meet in a dark alley at night.
7 feet tall?
Yep, 7 feet tall and every inch filled with malice.
And so, of course, she has to battle him, and there must be, I guess she only can be saved by her magic. Well,
magic certainly plays into it, and choices play into it, and heart and courage, and and lots of things play into it as to whether they will actually come together and meet and fight. I don't want to give away any secrets, but
Sure.
It certainly looks like they're headed in that direction.
So it's this thrilling battle between good and evil in this fantasy tale, and this young girl, Lissa, has to struggle to control her magic and make that kind of choice that will help these, as you put it, two vastly different worlds find peace at last. So she is the one who will be that has the destiny.
Yeah, she's the catalyst for many things that occur, that's for sure.
Any other characters that play a very important role in helping Lissa or fighting against Lissa?
Well, sure. There's Treb, who is the one of the major wizards in Light's Keep. Master Yura, who is a spellcaster. There are different roles. There are war wizards like Lady Ebob, who's an incredible warrior. Treb, who is skilled at all areas. There's a healer named Kered. You have healers, and you have spellcasters, and you have all kinds of magical entities that come to play in different ways. There's on the evil side, you've got Vertex, of course. You've got an amazing character called Yibrick, who is a spellcaster who will you'll just keep shaking your head every time he appears.
And I guess her father plays a part in this right through the whole story?
Yes, well, Nicholas certainly, searches for his daughter and ends up crossing into the world of magic and finding a way back to his daughter and trying to help her through all that she has to endure.
And some of the themes, and we've already mentioned this concept of choice, that's very important in all aspects of life, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think, all characters in books end up facing certain choices. How they handle them leads to the way we view them. Hero, anti-hero, villain, choice is always in effect, but it's an impact on our entire lives. We're always faced with choices each and every day, from the simplest things of what we're eating to breakfast, to what we're going to do about a personal situation that impacts us closely. So.
And
of course, for everybody.
And of course, those who have motives of just seeking control of everything around them, everybody around them.
Yes, absolutely. That's another aspect of choice, not necessarily a positive one.
And that isn't just in the fantasy world, obviously.
No, it's not. It's in everyday life.
And the value of wisdom.
Yes. I mean, that plays a crucial role in here. And I think in many fantasy books, you always find, a certain wizard who lends him or herself to setting the stage for how and why we do things and providing the wisdom necessary to help make intelligent choices, to guide us along our path. I think it's important, just like mentors in real life.
Anything else you'd like to share with us, Dave?
Well, if I might, I just want to mention that a portion of the sale of this book, whether it's as an e-reader or hardcover or softcover, will go to the Marissa Fund, which we set up. It's a 501c3 dedicated charity, and that works tirelessly to provide money for cancer research, as well as to provide money for families when insurances don't work or hospitals can't provide services. We kind of step in and provide money there. So we started a campaign, 1,000,000 Reasons to Wipe Out Pediatric Cancer, and this book sales are a part of that.
Well, congratulations on that. And again, our heart goes out to you for going through this incredible journey with your daughter and your wife. But here you have this book now that is a keepsake.
Well, absolutely. But I think, my heart goes out to the children, the pediatric cancer patients who, I want to live long enough to have a full life and to get to read Portals someday and look at their parents and say, what's cancer? What is that? I'd love to have that day when children say, what is cancer? And nobody knows what the word means.
That would be wonderful. Well, David Goldwasser, the author of his book, Portals. Dave, tell us how to get your book.
Sure, you can go to any of the major bookstore websites as well as the Iuniverse website and order the book that way. No problem at all. Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can get an e-reader version, as I said, or which is selling for only $3.99, so it's a really good price. Or you can get a hardcover version or a softcover version. Any of the major book websites will guide you right to the book. Or you can go to the marissafund.org. and there learn about the Mercer Fund, and also we'll connect you directly to links where you can order the book.
Thank you for being with us, Dave, on Iuniverse Radio.
I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.